Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming out to Red Raw tonight and supporting new acts. It's very appreciated. I've already shit myself twice. Hi, I'm April. Poo. doesn't get much better than this, I'm afraid. But you know, whenever I do have moments where I'm afraid, when I'm frightened, I like to harken back to the grounding fact that I went to high school in Glasgow as a goth. So a little bit forged in fire, a little bit built different, you could say. I was a bit of an easy target in high school. I still am, neurodivergent, openly bisexual. I watched anime and I really liked horses. So I was a autistic goth weeaboo horse girl and gay. Sorry, I forgot gay as well. Yeah, I'm not actually autistic, by the way. I actually have a different flavour, but they never differentiated that, did they? They actually called me a different word, but it's Big 2026. I shan't repeat it. But it rhymes with bongo. Does anyone else? Does anyone else watch anime here? Just out of curiosity. Okay, right. The way if you admitted that in a room 15 years ago, you would have been lynched. It's too easy to like anime now. There used to be rules. It was a bit like being gay back then. You had to hide it from your family. You could only talk about it with your chosen family, who were also partaking in the lecherous activities. You had to go on funny sites to get the content you wanted, get loads of malware. Now everyone likes anime. Openly, unashamedly even, you know, in fucking public with your Jujutsu Kaisen merch. I nearly died! No, but you didn't actually have to be a freak like I was in school, in high school in Scotland. You'd get slagged for anything. All you had to do was on a pencil case and you'd be called a slur. But there was a guy who actually, I saw him, he put both straps of his bag on his shoulders instead of just the one, like a fucking loser. And they killed him. He's dead. No, I'm just kidding. No, the context of that is that he was English. Yeah, exactly, yeah, English in a Scottish school. Sorry, I know you are among us. But yeah, I don't know what high school's like in England, but all I know is that when he moved to ours, after like 2 days, all the light had left his eyes. And even me, you know, like a goth, I arguably had the same social capital as this motherfucker, and he'd come up to me and he'd be like, do you know what modern studies is? And I'd be like, why are you talking to me? Although back then it was probably more like, oh, this Baka doesn't know his place. I'm just kidding, I wasn't actually that bad. But like, so it, like all of this, it got me onto this like theory that I found out about, where basically if a person suffers something long enough, then as a coping mechanism, they'll internalize it and they'll start to fetishize it, right? It's called sexual imprinting, if anyone's ever heard of that. And as a failed Catholic, yes, it was a Catholic school as well. What chance did I have? It's also why I'm not afraid of the concept of hell anymore. Because think about it, like whatever heinous torture they put me through doing there, odds are, eventually I'm gonna start to like it, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be like, okay, this is alright, you know? You put me in a fiery pit for eternal damnation, at some point I'm gonna be like, okay, new normal, I'm a fire guy now. I love this! You know, like fucking Satan checks in on you and realizes you're having a suspiciously good time. Roast my tits! I mean, ow! Oh, this sucks, I hate this. But like, okay, audience, what do you think the natural enemy of a goth in a Scottish high school is? Ned! It's fucking Ned. Arguably everybody's enemy, actually, but most specifically goths. So, you remember when we were talking about sexual imprinting? I don't know what happened. Do you remember the wee man? I do. Fucking spank bank all-star for me. I wish I was one of the mods he was going to pump. I don't know if it was like the individually gelled fringe that they had, or like the socks over the tracky bottoms, or like the threats to get my jaw ripped, or maybe it was like the poetry of it all, you know, like we're like a modern day Romeo and Juliet, a goth and a Ned, two households, both alike in dignity, and fair Cambus Lang where we lay our scene. Yeah, I don't know. I just started finding them sexy one day, and yeah, it took me a while. I was getting cans of juice launched at my head every day at lunch. There was actually a guy who would buy one specially to throw at me. Wee Jambo, I still think about him. Of course, if I knew back then they were going to change the recipe to iron brew, I wouldn't have dodged as much. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll just leave you with this. So sexual imprinting relates to your childhood trauma, obviously. And which is awesome, apparently. And like, you know, as an adult, I don't think I ascribe to that anymore. I think I've matured, but I do have a boyfriend right now. Thank you, he's called Jambo. No, I'm just kidding, he's not an Ed, but he is English, sorry. Goodbye, thank you so much.